So here we have the NAACP telling the people to stand down. They knew that this could cripple the city of Memphis because all of the sanitation workers, except for the people who were driving those sanitation trucks, were black. A militant young black power group known as the Invaders showed interest in the strike as well. The group consisted of 15 members, mostly high school dropouts, as well as a cell of a larger group known as Black Organizing Power, BOP. Headed by Charles L. Cabbage and John B. Smith, the alleged purpose of BOP was to stimulate a sense of Black identity, Black pride, and Black consciousness in young Black men and women. Okay? So the strikes were also supported by a group of Black ministers connected to the Memphis Interdenominational Minister Alliance. So you had the young kids that was organizing in Memphis, tribe up. And you also had the church that was participating alongside Dr. King. So there you have it. Pretty much a situation where, Dr. King could, get behind, with all the stuff going on already in the city of Memphis. He didn't have to necessarily go to the or bring the people to the capital. He could just go there where people were already in place to pose a strike. Okay, so let's get down here. Dr. King made his first visit to Memphis in support of the strike on the night of March 18, 1968. On that occasion, in addressing an estimated crowd of 9,000 to 12,000 people at a rally sponsored by the CME at the Mason Temple, he called for a general protest day on March 22nd, 1968. All blacks were asked not to go to work or school on that day and were urged to participate in a massive downtown march. Dr. King and his party stayed at the Lorraine Motel at 406 Millbury Street on the night of March 18th, 1968, and left Memphis shortly before noon on March 19th, 1968, to go to the state of Mississippi in connection with the Poor People's Campaign. So he went up, spoke before a large crowd of people, and they organized pretty much the strike. Had the day and everything. And it looks like he stayed at the Lorraine Motel. Now, the thing is, the Lorraine Motel, as we all know, was the place of Dr. King's demise, or, when he was assassinated. So it looks like he went back to that hotel by April, April 3rd, beginning of April. So that right there, I would say a bad play right there, because Dr. King, with his profile, should not be going to the same hotels. He was staying at the Lorraine Motel the first time he ever traveled in support of that strike. I don't know if that was the first time, but it does say his first visit to Memphis in support of the strike. So King returned. He went down. The city of Memphis was virtually paralyzed by 16-inch snowfall on the same day, March 22nd, 1968, that they were supposed to plan this mass march. So it got postponed to March 28th. Dr. King returned to Memphis on the 28th, arriving at the airport approximately 10:22 a.m. By that time, approximately 5,000 to 6,000 people, about half whom were school age, had congregated at the Claiborne Temple and began breaking store windows and looting. Mass confusion developed, and the police moved in to quell the disturbance. So I like how they'll add stuff like this in, where they'll say signs and poles and stuff was ripped down, began breaking store windows and looting. Now, tensions do get high. Stuff like that happens when people start to cause damage to property. I get it. I get that. However, like I said, time and time again, if y'all watch my videos, I always speak about agents in the camp, in the movement, agents of chaos. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody talking about busting out no window over here, but it's just a pile of bricks conveniently sitting in this spot. And you got one person that's rallying up, or galvanizing, here to bring chaos, you know what I'm saying, to disturb this movement, this march. Because you got to think, if people start breaking out windows and damaging property, the city, has to pay for a lot of the stuff or the structures. Now, personal property, I get it. Insurance companies, things like that cause the rates to go up in that city if this happens on a regular. So police is going to respond with some form of violence. Also, I feel like they be wanting to make a stain or put a stain on the message, because that right there goes directly to the media, and the media is now focusing on people destroying property over the whole message. A lot of times they send agents of chaos to these different rallies or protests to take away from the message. That's one of the strategies of war. If you want to mobilize, demobilize a movement, you implement all of these different strategies. So that's another thing I always say, our people got to understand that we are at war. It's a silent war. We always, just because we live in comfortable, sometimes we get it twisted. Just saying, with all of this stuff that be happening, what I'm saying? It's like it'd be shocking and surprising, I feel like, to a lot of people, but to a lot of people it's not, because it's like, okay, this has historically happened in this country. The city ordered a 7 p.m. curfew, and approximately 3,500 members of the Tennessee National Guard were called out to end the violence. So you see how this picture is being painted, a peaceful protest. Dr. King was known for many peaceful protests. Now, I'm not saying that this didn't get rowdy, but I'm just saying a lot of times it's these agents of chaos that added into the peaceful protesters and the marches that's not necessarily with us, but they're trying to stabilize the movement. They're trying to push a point to the media why you would send 3,500 National Guard to the city of Memphis to end the violence. So you have to give the people on TV or that's home watching, you have to control the narrative and show a focus on the damage and destruction of the property, and showing people not so peacefully protesting, so that way you can kind of sanction the right to have the National Guard come in and use lethal force. So let's go. Here we go. During the disturbance, 4 blacks were shot, 1 fatally, 150 fires were set, and over 300 persons were arrested. So after somebody gets shot, somebody gets unalived, of course now you're going to have people really charged up. So I can see why these fires were set, all of this. So this town right now, it appears it's unraveling from all of this, from issues that just started with, the sanitation walkout where they won't come to work. So let's go down here. On March 29, 68, issue of the Memphis Commercial Appeal reported that many of the looters and window breakers were Black Power advocates, and several wore jackets of the invaders. However, other sources, including Lieutenant E.H. Arkin of the Memphis Police Department, indicated that many high school-age students had put the word invaders on their jacket. So you got everybody putting this invader message on their jacket. You know what I'm saying? Invaders must have been one of the big organized groups down there around that time, chopping up. Now you can see how you can easily have somebody infiltrate, because you got other people outside of the invaders that's just writing the word invader on their shirt. The violence and disruption of the march was a great concern to Dr. King because the possible effect it might have on poor people's campaign. Therefore, he vowed to return to Memphis and demonstrate that he had not lost his effectiveness in leading nonviolent marches. He hadn't lost his effectiveness. Like I said, COINTELPRO is one of the key points to stabilizing a movement. He hadn't lost the nonviolent or the peaceful protest. It was now you've been doing the same thing for the last 6 years. We on to you. We know how to disrupt it. We know how to get in front of it. You know what I'm saying? These people are playing chess. So anytime y'all start these groups up and y'all want to organize and galvanize, just know somebody in that group gonna fold, or they gonna come to you already as a CI for the government. So pretty much my thing is I always say, hey, if you're gonna organize and do it in silence. You know what I'm saying? You just want to you don't want to have a point of attack that could destroy the whole movement if that one person goes. You want to mobilize, you want to just operate off the code, as the great minister of code says, operate off the code.